Hi, welcome to this presentation on finding the mean and standard deviation of a population by formula and also using the data analysis tool. Here we have this is the numbers in thousands of a salary at a particular company. In order to find the mean and standard deviation, the mean is quite straightforward. We start by simply typing equals sum of, and then take our mouse and select the values for x, close the parentheses and press enter, and we have the sum. The mean is then calculated by taking that sum and dividing by how many elements there are, which are 10. We have 10 salaries, and so we end up getting a mean of 41.5. The next step is to find the standard deviation. The standard deviation starts by taking whatever x is, in this case the 41 found in cell A3, and subtracting the mean, which is 41.5. We're then going to copy this, put our mouse in the lower right hand corner and copy this formula down. Notice that it automatically changes to the row, so when we're on the row 12 it's taking A12 minus 41. That's the difference in how the value of x differentiates from the mean. Notice some are positive, some are negative. Notice I did not put these in order. They don't need to be in order for this calculation necessarily. If you want to find the mode or the median, then you probably should put them in order. The next column, what we're going to use in order to get the variation, is to take that variation that we have from each element and square it. So we take equals and we talk about cell B3, raised to the power, that's the value, the symbol over 6, to the second power, and we press enter. We copy, and this is the sum of the deviations squared, and so we're going to find the sum, SUM, of, and we're going to take and find these values. The variation is of the population. Now I'm using mu because mu is the population mean. I'm taking the mean, the standard, the sum of the squares of the deviations and dividing by 10. That's the variance. The standard deviation then is 2.97. It is the square root of the variance. And that's how you find the mean and standard deviation of the population. Now, we can do this by the data analysis tool, but please note what happens. I'm going to choose the data analysis tool, descriptive statistics, and I'm going to choose the input range, which is my raw data. It's grouped in columns, so I'm all set. I didn't pick up the first row, so I don't need to check this. The output range is going to be starting in this cell here, G4. You can put it in a new worksheet or whatever. And I'd like all my summary statistics. I'm not going to bother with the other choices here because we're not there yet. And I click OK. Now you'll notice that it has the same mean, but notice that the standard deviation is not the same. Why? Well, here's the reason. We assumed that this was the entire population, and so therefore when we found the variance, we took the sum of the deviations and divided by 10, or n. The reality is that if this is really just a sample of the company's salaries, and we treat this as a sample rather than a population, we then have a variance of 88.5, the sum of the squares, divided by n minus 1. If we do that and assume it's just a sample, we get the same numbers for the sample variance that the data analysis gets. And we also get the same standard deviation. Okay, so if you choose to use this data analysis tool, remember that it's a great tool to use to find mean, standard deviation. Median is good. Mode, be careful, because if there are more than one value at the same or at a with the same number of frequencies, it'll only give you one. But this is a great way to get minimum, maximum, and sum and count and all of those pieces. But keep in mind that it only works if you are dealing with a sample. If you want the variance and the standard deviation for a population, then you'd only divide by n for the variance, not n minus 1. Thank you.